Welcome to Tea Time with Kitty. It is now 5:11 p.m., giving some of my viewers a chance to get all chimed in. And thank you for joining me each and every week. I definitely appreciate the love and the support. Welcome. Today's topic is going to be dealing with that difficult person. Dealing with that difficult person. And when we all hear about dealing with that difficult person, the first thing comes to mind is not dealing with them. But today we're going to talk about when you have to deal with that difficult person, and we're going to work to brainstorm on some techniques and some strategies to help us be able to build our people skills. Hey, sister, to help us build our people skills, as well as being able to cope. Because when you have those situations that you have to be a part of, that's not pleasing to your spirit, that gives you anxiety, that makes you feel that you don't want to embrace it. Those things are not healthy, as well as they must not be ignored, right? So we're going to talk about different techniques. We're going to give people, hey sis, make sure you listening to this one, because this one is dealing with the difficult person. And I know that some of us that's in management roles have to deal with it from down and up, because as much as we don't want to deal with those persons who's not always pleasing to us or welcoming to our spirit, we're going to talk about things that we can do to get through with interacting with them. While we're waiting, I do want to share information on a program that Bank of America have. I don't have all the insight of the program, but what I do know is that the program is helps with down payment for persons that want to purchase a home. To my understanding, this information is only for first-time home buyers. So if you already own a home and currently living in it, it would not apply to you. But that doesn't mean they may not have something else out there. So please take a look and take advantage of it if possible. Um, I also want to promote my very own daughter and her new business that she has going out. I think I have the name correct. I believe it's Dayon Designs. And what Dayon Designs do is it creates programs for weddings. It creates programs for obituaries. It create programs for like dinner events, anything that you are doing, whether it's a rehearsal dinner. She creates programs for those things. She has really nice things, and hopefully we'll have her on here soon when we talk about small business, showing her expertise, as she will bring on some of her different things that she has created for persons, and that you all will support her if something comes to mind that you could utilize Dayon Designs with. So thank you all for that. And let's see, do we have anything else? So we don't have anything else. So we're going to really get ready to jump in. I do want to make sure I give my phone number 202-758-8941, because I know there's a lot of people who wish to join in, but are unable to chat, or is not comfortable chatting, and they like to send me something by text. So again, that's 202-758-8941. So first and foremost, when you think about the difficult person, what's the first thing that comes to mind when you think of dealing with that difficult person? Please tell me what's the first thing that comes to mind with dealing with a difficult person. Do anyone have something that automatically, I know for me, the first thing that comes to mind when I think about that difficult person is avoiding them. Avoiding them by all costs, not wanting to deal with them, not wanting to waste energy or time on it. And for a lot of us, that's what we do when something is not pleasing or does not feel right, or we just don't want to associate with, we will remove ourselves from that, right? But I'm learning every day in my own personal life, whether it's relationships or in my work environment, that all the time we cannot get away from those difficult people. So we have to learn ways. Hey, Vika, let's see. I actually engaged them to figure out what the problem is. And that's what I learned from one of my sessions today. That's the core of the problem, but I've never seen it that way, right? So that's one of the core things that you should do. But it definitely helps you learn people. And the one thing that I want us to know that we get from that is stand your ground, even when it's those uneasy conversations, even when it's those ill feelings. We have to stand our ground. Do not let anyone, whether in your personal life or your professional life, discourage you or distract you from getting what is yours. Do not let anyone discourage or distract you from getting what's yours. Sometime when you're almost at the winning line or at that finish point, things seem overly overwhelming and overly challenging, right? But I remember I had a season like this before, and I think this season started back in 20 mid 2016 and on through mid 2017. It was very challenging, but then when I got through it and went into 2018, just like a year and a half that seemed like it was 10 years, it was very rewarding, right? I was able to get a new opportunity with more money, right? So sometimes, hey Trail, so sometimes it is a reward at the end. But I want for us, some of us, some others to share your input on it. How do you deal with those people that you don't want to deal with? And with me, my experience is being in the work world, right? And you have, and when you're in management, you have staff that you have to deal with, and some of them are not so pleasing, even though I have such great ones. Hey Donald, right now. And then you have people that's over you that you're not so fond of, but you still have to deal with it, right? And unless you hit the Powerball or the Mega Million, your job is one of the things that you need so much. Another real key point of someone that you have to deal with is the other child's parent, the parent of, hold on, the child's other parent. So you may be co-parenting and you may get such great anxiety when it's time to interact with that child's parent because of your feelings, right? That's only after I want to slap them for, yes, if you could just slap them, but we are too old and too saved and too professional to be slapping anyone. But sometimes a good slap is great, right? I often have to pray and ask to help me, ask God, I know that you mean God, to help me deal with them and how I can be used. So I have not asked God that, right? I've asked God some other things, but maybe that will be my prayer when I go in my quiet space tonight, because sometimes give me what I need to deal with them, because people, good or bad, are who they are a lot of times, not all the time, but based on life and where life has taken them at this point, right? Hey Donald, hey Shamika, and prayer definitely works. I keep a smile on my face, but be cursing them out in my head while cracking myself up with jokes about them. I definitely like that, right? Definitely like that, because I might can't say it, but I can easily laugh and have those thoughts in my head. I can laugh and have those thoughts in my head, because the thing about it is, you can be light skinned, dark skinned, short, fat, male, female, young, old. Sometimes it's something in you that does not let you connect with that person. I am definitely big on spiritual realms, but it may not be a spiritual realm. It could be something else, right? You may not like her because she looks just like the woman that your boyfriend cheated with. So it could be so many undefined factors that we don't know, and we will never have the answer to. Anyone else, what do you do to cope? Because I am in a season now where I am trying my hardest. I do know that it gets better by the day, but it's still challenging to me because I am really a people's person. I love people, but I cannot fake and have people in my space that's not pleasing to me. Anyone else, anything else that works itself out and that's a good tool that you are able to use, that may be able to help you get through the day. Because, like I said, it could be in our personal life, it can be in our professional life. Hey, Sanaya, and one thing for sure, if you are in management, if you supervise, or if you're in some sort of position where you have people that you're over, know that there's people over you. So I always feel like when you're supervising or managing, you get it from both ends, right? Because you get it from the people that you look like, oh my gosh, here she come again. And then someone may be feeling the same way about you, right? And then you get it from those over you, right? You may think that, hey, I'm great. I've done this job so long. Everybody I went worked with have told me how awesome I am. And you get with someone else, and they're constantly trying to tear down everything that you thought you were. Um, and it can actually become challenging. Anybody else, do anyone else have any other techniques that they use? Prayer is so important. I definitely would encourage you all to take those trainings on different types of personality traits. I think learning yourself has a lot to do with it, definitely has a lot to do with it. And I have been taking some courses, some leadership courses, and that has gave me a lot of insight. And believe it or not, whether it's personal or professional, you can use that information to intertwine with one another to get the result, to get it done. When I find this happening to me, I find that there is an opportunity for me to mature in that art. Definitely. And that's what I said. Like one of the first things I said, and it kind of like bit my own tongue, was I feel like I've grown so much. I can take this on, but it's so different once you're in it, right? Once you're in it, and you definitely need the support of those around you. I go to YouTube and watch meditation videos sometimes. That's awesome. I didn't know that you could go to, and I know everything's on YouTube, if not YouTube Googling, but I've never went there to watch meditation videos. So that's something that I'm going to incorporate into my lifestyle. I'm going to pick a day that I can do that and meditate. I may do it on Wednesdays going forward, because that's my mental health, part of my mental health. Going on from caring for myself, my mom, my children, grandchildren, my spouse. So when you put all those things together, you do need that mental health for yourself, and make sure you take some time for yourself. I know that I was extremely overwhelmed, extremely overwhelmed. And I feel like going away on vacation with my family this past month really helped me regroup a whole lot, because I am the type of person that when I am on leave, I am still checking emails. I am still answering my colleagues' calls. And so when I actually removed myself for this past season and I shut down the whole DHS, tea time had just resumed. I did so many different things that I really was able to feel better and regroup. Like I really was able to get that energy back, and be able to use it for what I needed it for, right? So that was so important. So when you are taking your vacation, I know that we're going into use or lose season for most employers. When you're taking that time and you're off work, be off work. Separate professional from business, right? That's what the healthy work-life balance is about. Separate the two, because when there's too much on your plate, something will get missed. And sometimes you'll find yourself neglecting family for a job, and you'll find yourself neglecting your job for your family. So that's why it's so important to balance between the two, so that you will stay healthy, physically, mentally. We know that stress can be good and bad, but that the stress will be balanced, and it will be in moderation, and that it will not be overwhelming. You love the meditation videos as well. Okay, so I am going to definitely get on it. And when I do it, I'm going to get into a quiet space. I'm going to sit on the floor and fold my legs. I'm going to make sure that it's dark, and I'm going to actually try it today. But if it's not implemented today, because I have a hair appointment today, because y'all know how that little gray hair like to try to come out and say how old it is. But if not today, definitely I will be able to start it in my journey for next week. Anyone else, how do you deal with those people? What are some techniques for dealing with those people that you have to deal with? Because we got all the answers, right? And Donald, I know you should be chiming in with something for us, because we got all the answers when it comes to I ain't dealing with them. That cousin to get on my last nerve, I ain't dealing with them. But when you have to deal with somebody, when it's your livelihood, when it's your mortgage company, or when it's your rental office, or when it's your car note, insurance company, like sometimes we have to deal with people, whether it's professionally or personal, we have to deal and interact, and we need to know what that looks like. Anyone else? While you all are getting your thoughts together, I do want to say that I have had someone to confirm for all those upcoming dates and topics that I put out there. The only one I have not had someone to do is the counseling portion from a high school. I reached out to someone at my church. I just did it on yesterday because she came to mind. So I'm giving her a little window to get back with me. But hopefully, she still does counseling in the high school, and hopefully she'll be someone that can help. But everything else, the dates are being laid out on the calendar. Those people have committed to coming and presenting to us about their different fields, about college experience, about what to know. Going into the later month of October or early November, we're definitely going to be having some persons that come on about their small businesses, and we're going to promote small business, and that we have to definitely support our own African American business. And we as African Americans with business, we need to be more professional with dealing with our own. So it's a two-way, and we will be talking about those things. Anyone else that can think of something that comes to mind, and when you're having to relate, I see Alicia is not on, but I know that in her role, I'm pretty sure she's always encountering people that you have to deal with, that you don't want to deal with. Donald, I was wondering if you could think of something where you're dealing with someone and you don't want to have to deal with that person, and what does it look like? And if anyone is not able to type in the chat and just want to send it to my phone and tell me their thoughts of interacting with people that you don't want to interact. And I know it happens a lot. It happens a lot in your family, at that family reunion that you don't want to go to, but it also happens a lot in the workforce. You should never, and I'm gonna tell you, like, I love my job so much. So much. And it's a great thing to be in a place that you can love so much. So do I disagree with some things? Yes. Would I change some things? Of course. I'm opinionated, right? But the fact of the matter is, it's a great thing where you can appreciate what you do. When it has a lot to do, the job has a lot to do with who you are, right? So if it gets to a season where it's making you feel like you're burned out behind it, or you don't want to do it, or you don't want to come in, please seek help, right? Most jobs have employee assistance program. Reach out to those employee assistance programs and take advantage of the benefits that you are entitled to. Most jobs offer PFL. I know DC government employees have PFL. So, and now they have it for the employee itself. It always used to be for family or delivering a child, but now it's also for yourself. So if you need to get support, help, encouragement, the information is there for you. So please take advantage. I know with DC government employee assistance program, it covers anyone in your household. So if you have a 30-year-old that's going through some challenges, and we all know that they come off our insurance at 26, the employee assistance program can still service your 30-year-old child, your 40-year-old grandchild. They can still, so take advantage of those benefits, know what you're entitled to, and what information is available to you. So now we have Donna. Oh, I just stay to myself and mind my own business and just leave it alone. But if I do, then I handle it accordingly. Even when I don't want to, I still got to do it. So yeah, so again, Donna, even what you're saying, just stay to yourself. Sometimes it's not that easy, like, or being at a board meeting, being at a board meeting and you just don't want to be there, but you got to be there and you got to be performing because your job and your livelihood and your name is riding on it. So definitely great points. Anyone else that has anything as it relates to dealing with a difficult person? I know that my family pretty much is solid. So if I had to choose a side, it will kind of be more of the work world, because I have been able to accept my family for who they are, because over time, and I think that love plays a part. So sometimes we have to give people some grace, have some agape love, show a little mercy, to try to cope and get through. Sometimes it's not all about you. Although I love people, sometimes I make it about me. You ever heard someone say, "Oh, I ain't going to that wedding because such and such are gonna be there." Well, it's not about you. I'm not going to that funeral because such and such are gonna be. Well, it's not about you. So it goes back to a lot with removing ourselves from the equation, because the thing of it is, you sometimes can't change who you deal with, but you can change how you deal with them, right? And I know that I am real big on it. If I have to deal with you in just that professional realm, I keep it professional. I don't need to come to your house. You don't need to come to mine. We don't need to speak on the phone if it's not job related. So sometimes barriers are very important when dealing with those people, because if you know it's someone that you cannot tolerate, then don't push yourself to make a relationship. And do know that even in the professional realm, that you do not have to do things that you're uncomfortable with doing, right? So if your job is whatever the case is, and you come to work and you're on time and you do your job, you don't have to mingle for happy hour with your employees. Believe it or not, you really don't even owe anybody in the job a good morning, right? That has nothing, saying good morning has nothing to do with your job function. Saying good morning has nothing to do. So, yes, we would like that. Saying good morning has nothing to do with being a team player. I can still be a great team player, but there's nothing good about this morning to me. So let me come in here, do my job, be pleasant, and interact. Because sometimes we take things so personal, like, oh, they didn't, and oh, they didn't. But some things that we expect from people is not. I know one of the things I learned from the session that I was watching today as well, they said that you can look at 25-year-old dress and a 50-year-old dress and see some differences there, right? And the 50-year-old may feel like the 25-year-old is not dressed professional. And right then and there, the trainer says, throw that out the window. And let's look at productivity. Is this person coming to work? Is this person on time? Is this person doing a job? Because I may feel at 25 that what I have on is appropriately professional as what you have on at 50. So we definitely have to remove some of the things that's biased. And that really was an eye opener for me, because, hey, when we get a little old, it's easy to put on a big dress and a suit and tie that younger people probably are not used to doing. So we have to show them some grace and learning. And if we continue to model it, hey, by the time they're 50, they'll be great at it too, right? And then we don't want them looking down on that 25-year-old. So that's pretty much all I have for today. Thank you so much for joining in each and every week. I hope that you got something from this as it relates to dealing with that difficult person that you have to deal with, because we all know what to do if you don't have to deal with that person. So dealing with that difficult person that you have to deal with, I hope that we got something from it. I hope that you're able to stand your ground. I hope that you're someone that's able to be fair and treat people with courtesy and respect if you are in a leader role, and that your spirit will set the atmosphere to make everything calm and relaxing. Because in spite of all the chaos going on, you can still remain the person that you need to be, right? So thank you all so much for sipping with a sister each and every week. And I look forward to you all next week.